Well, today I'm back with a versus video. This time we'll be diving into the world of nu metal, and the albums we'll be comparing today are Seasons by Sevendust and Shadow Zone by Static X. So yeah, both came out in the year 2003, but let's first talk about Seasons by Sevendust. So yeah, this would be their fourth album and also their final album with TVT. And something you notice with this album, especially compared to the albums that came before it, is that this album is much more radio friendly. It could be pressure from the label at the time, I'm not quite sure, but either way, I still think Sevendust had a really great, strong 4-album run with those first 4 albums, which this would be, again, their 4th album. And yeah, those first 4 albums especially are definitely really great, definitely awesome in my opinion. But I do like all their albums though. You do still get quality stuff from this band when it comes to their more modern stuff too. Albums like All I See Is War and Truth Killer are also really good albums. But again, those first 4 albums especially, really good stuff, including this album in my opinion. But yeah, something you do notice with these songs is that they do kind of stick to a similar formula to each other, but I still personally really dig the album to this day, and I feel like you do get some of Sevendust's best work on here. But if I were to name some of my favorites on the album, Enemy is of course definitely one of them. That's definitely one of the bigger songs on the album, definitely one of their big anthems. I was definitely happy when they performed that song when I saw them live earlier this year with Static X. Face to Face is another bigger song for them off this album. Some of my other favorites on here, Gone. That's definitely one of my favorite deep cuts from the band, probably at this point. Disgrace is also really good. I also like Separate. That's definitely one of their most overlooked songs. Definitely one of the most underrated. I really like that song a lot. You also have the ballad Skeleton Song, which shows how great of chemistry that Clint and Lejeune have. And that song definitely proves that they have, again, great chemistry, and both have great singing voices too. But you also have other really great songs on here. Again, Disgrace. I also like Broken Down, which, if I remember correctly, is one of the other singles off the album. And when it comes to Sevendust singles, Broken Down is definitely one of the more underrated ones, but I personally really dig that song. Definitely one of my favorites on the album. Disease, I think, is probably one of my favorite album openers from the band too. But yeah, all around, from front to back, pretty solid album. Definitely one of those albums you can listen to from front to back with no issue, at least for me. But all around, definitely a great album. But now let's go ahead and talk about Shadow Zone by Static X. This would be their 3rd album, and you can definitely notice a change in sound with this one. Still feels like Static X, but again, you definitely notice a difference here. This album's a bit more melodic and also a bit more radio friendly compared to their other albums. And I can see how that might be a negative for some fans or for some people, but still, even with all that, I still do dig this album. I mean, you do have one of their biggest songs on here with The Only, but you also have some other really good songs on here like Control It and New Pain and Kill Your Idols, which is one of the heavier songs on the album. But yeah, while you do have your more melodic moments on the album like the song So, you also have your heavier moments like Destroy All and Monster. But I will be honest, the album does start to lose steam a little bit around track 9, or starting with track 9 with All in Wait. The album starts to lose me a little bit around that time. I mean, besides So, I do like the song So, and I can see how some fans might not be even big on that one, because definitely one of their most melodic songs and definitely one of their most different sounding songs. So I can see how that song might be a turnoff for some people, especially those who are used to the more heavier side of the band. But I personally dig the song So. I mean, it's definitely nowhere near one of their best songs by any means, but still, I personally dig that song. But Otsego Electric, when it comes to their Otsego songs, that's probably one of the weaker ones in my opinion, but still decent track. Invincible is a song that I think is one of their weaker album closers, but I still do think that song is alright. But yeah, he do get some pretty good stuff on here though. I mean, again, Control It, The Only, New Pain. I do like the title track. Destroy All is a pretty solid way to open up the album, starting off with one of the heavier songs on the album. But yeah, you do notice Wayne singing more often this time around with this album. Of course, you do have his more signature style shown in certain songs, such as in songs like Destroy All and Kill Your Idols. But again, you do get more singing, and his singing in this album, I have noticed comparisons to Jonathan Davis, and I can somewhat hear that, but I still feel like it still feels like Wayne Static at the end of the day, and doesn't sound too much like Jonathan Davis, but at the same time, I can still kind of hear it a little bit though. But either way, Shadow Zone, another solid album from Static X. I wouldn't rank it as their best, or I don't know. I don't know if I'd even say one of their best. It maybe be more towards the middle of the pack when it comes to ranking their albums. Might be more towards the middle. I'm not quite sure, but either way, it's still a solid album, at least in my opinion. But anyways, if I were to pick which album I like more for this video, I'm probably going to have to go with Seasons by Sevendust. Again, if you haven't heard one of these albums, definitely check out the album that you haven't heard and let me know which album you like more. But yeah, both solid albums, but I would definitely go with Seasons by Sevendust. When it comes to the more radio-friendly sound, I feel like Sevendust definitely does it better, but I think Static X still did a solid job with that more radio-friendly direction with this album. But again, I feel like Sevendust definitely does it better with this album. But yeah, both solid albums, but I definitely go with Seasons. But let me know which album you like more and all the good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, to like, subscribe. Have a nice day and take care.